Welcome, everyone. I'm Kimberly Boscheman, and this is the Intentionally Intuitive podcast. In this episode, we're going to take a look at each life path number, the forecast for October 2023. Before we get into that, this, of course, is a general reading. If you would like a personalized reading where we can take a look at your personal numerology, including your year ahead forecast, your diamond report, couples numerology, you name it, we can look at it. Just book some time with me. My information is in the description box below, and I look forward to working with you. Okay, let's go ahead and dive in. Life Path 7. So October is an interesting month for you all. You're working with the energy of the 6. So this is bringing the emphasis into the home or with your very close-knit relationships. So very close friendships, family, romantic partnerships. Or close-knit community. They can, that energy can come in as well under six energy, but really the focus is going to be on the home or those relationships closest to the home, or both, right? And also there's this energy of, your animal spirit message for this month is donkey energy. Which I love. And this actually goes really well together, right? The 6 and the donkey energy. So a few things, right? First of all, with donkey energy, there's definitely something here about patience, humility, also sacrifice, right? Like we think about donkey energy and it's a very it can be a very stubborn energy, but it's also a very protective and loyal energy. So yeah, and it's a very wise energy as well. Anytime donkey comes up, I'm always reminded of this story. I used to volunteer at a farm sanctuary, right, where they rescue farmed animals and they live out the rest of their life there. Anyway, they had I guess it's called a herd. I don't know, a herd of donkeys. There was 3 anyway, but it was a mom and her 2 children. I don't know. Baby donkeys. Anyway, and the mom died and the 2 offspring literally laid at the site where, I don't know if it was where she was buried or where they last saw her, mourning. They literally go through this grief and mourning process. It's incredibly heartbreaking to see, but it's incredibly beautiful. We underestimate how incredibly angelic and wise donkeys are. But oh my gosh, I will never forget that. Never, never, never. It was so incredibly beautiful. And it wasn't just for an hour. It was I think for a period of a couple of weeks, right? And they would be there and they would do their bellow or what, I don't know. Oh God, I can't think of what it's called now. When they do their, oh gosh. Anyway, whatever, the noise that they make, right? Gosh, I'm doing really well here, aren't I? But anyway, it was incredibly beautiful. And it was just that reminder that there's the animals are so, and humans are so connected in so many ways. But there is this sense of loyalty and almost sacrifice with donkey energy. So what that kind of brings me to is, as it relates to your home environment or those very close connections, whether it's family, friends, romantic partnerships, if there's a connection where you are over-giving, over-sacrificing yourself, you really need to kind of take a look at that, right? Because it's an imbalance of energy. There's not an equal exchange of energy, and that will lead to anger, frustration, resentment, or burnout, right? And depletion. And so I would say compromise over sacrifice. If you find yourself sacrificing to anyone, or anything, there needs to be an evaluation there, right? Because you will get depleted. It might take years, but you will get depleted. And that's kind of hard to kind of come back from. It takes time. So if from the get-go, you can say, am I sacrificing or am I compromising? And there is a huge difference there. So recognizing the difference, having that self-awareness of, does this feel good? Am I doing this out of the goodness of my heart? Am I willing to sort of compromise on my standards or whatever the case may be for this connection? If not, I need to have a conversation with the other person, to let them know or whatever. But if you're sacrificing, that means that you're kind of constantly giving to this other person or doing things that are a burden or burdensome, right? And that are depleting you. And that's often where you can notice where that difference is, right? Are you doing something that is constantly depleting you? That's sacrifice. Or are you doing something where it's like, okay, I can continue to thrive, live and thrive by compromising this, and this feels okay, this feels good, right? There's a difference. So I just bring this up because, especially when it comes to 6 energy is a very giving, nurturing energy, and it can be very easy to, not necessarily in a cycle, but it can bring up where it is that we are over sacrificing, right? Or showing up to maybe unhealthy connections and where behaviors need to be modified or changed. So the 6 energy can absolutely bring that to the surface to be looked at. So there may be a connection, and again, can be any connection that's like close to your heart type thing, where you would be more likely to go into like overgiving or sacrificing mode, right? Where you're more likely to be a little bit more vulnerable in that way. And so the 6th cycle can bring that to the surface to be looked at, and that can put pressure on it, right? And a lot of times that can surface as like resentment or anger. So I would say take a look at that. If there's any connection where you feel there is an imbalance in the exchange of energy, you're probably going to be asked to take a close look at that and see how modifications can be made there. Patience is also a big one. And so kind of shifting gears here with Donkey, they are very stubborn, but they're also very patient beings. And with patience, I would say, especially as it sort of ties into the home or these deeper connections, of course, patience and grace and understanding that we're not always, at our best all the time. And neither is the other person. And so having patience for that person, having grace for that person, just as we would hope that they would have grace for us when we slip up or when, we're not at our best. I think Donkey coming through is saying, have an honest conversation about whatever it is, share your feelings, but also have that space for grace and patience. So I do think that October could be a month where you sort of need to pack your patience for others, right? For, again, those relationships, those connections that can potentially do some of the most damage, right? Because they're the ones that we tend to be the most vulnerable with. So definitely have patience with yourself, with others this month. Again, the 6th cycle, when it comes in a cycle, can often bring to the surface where there is dishonesty, where there is sort of a lower vibration that doesn't match with the vibration of love and honesty, right? You can bring those conversations to the surface to be dealt with. And so the quicker we can sort of have those conversations, move through those wherever there's sort of turbulence, the quicker that we can kind of move into a space that's healthier for all involved, right? And that's sort of the goal of the 6. This can also be a time when you could meet someone if you are single or looking for love. The 6th energy can actually bring in, it's like soulmate energy as well. So it can bring in these sort of like divine connections. It can be a resurfacing of a divine connection, or it can be like a new connection coming in. It can also be like building your family as well. So if you're looking to have a baby, you may see that you get pregnant, your partner gets pregnant, you adopt. Can also be about pets. So you might want to adopt a new pet this month. That's definitely supported. You might find that someone adopts you, meaning a pet adopts you this month. So beautiful energy for that as well. Also, you could see a change or a shift in finances that have to do with the home around this time, or a shift in the home. So people moving in, people moving out, people sort of needing your attention a little bit more, right? Like your care, your nurturing. You might see that people are leaning on you a little bit more at this time. So again, grace, patience, while also maintaining those healthy behaviors where if you can't take something else on, make sure you're having that conversation, right? If it's something where you're committing to it and it's burdening you, that's not going to lead to a healthy outcome. That's going to lead to resentment, right? And frustration. And so having that healthy conversation, letting that person know, I'm sorry, I would love to show up for you in this way, but I can't do it at this time, gives them the opportunity to find that support elsewhere, right? So everyone involved gets to serve their highest good through that conversation, right? So beautiful energy really this month. I would just say, again, just be really mindful of not overburdening, overcommitting, or sacrificing yourself this month. And really, if there's a connection where that's been happening, you will probably see that come to the surface. I would definitely say that because this is right smack dab in the middle of eclipse season. So big storylines starting or ending and all this stuff. So I'll have my videos out soon for those eclipses. But in the meantime, just know that October is probably going to be a big month for you all, especially in the home life, right? And those deeper relationships. So I hope it's a beautiful October for you all. Take care, sevens. Bye for now.